I am triggered. Someone recently complimented me while I was exercising, and I just don't know what to do about it. I'm just so traumatized by the compliment. And now I've become Glitter and Laser's destroyer of fat phobia. Hi, I'm Lisa, and welcome back to my Fat React series, where we take a look at different aspects of health culture, including the fat acceptance community, the fitness community, as well as popular health and beauty trends. And as you can see, I'm just distraught from being complimented while exercising. No, seriously. So I was, a little backstory here. So a few months ago, my friend Graphically Alex put out this video of this TikToker, Glitter and Lasers. I don't really watch her or know anything about her. But I did watch that video of his, and you can check it out in the description box down below, of him reacting to this woman who was so triggered from being complimented while exercising. And I just remember thinking, geez, that's just a little over the top, right? Like, why would anyone just be, like, that triggered? And also, I didn't really know how to relate to it. Like, maybe somebody had been like, hey, good job, while I was passing, but I never really had anyone be like, you know what, good for you, I'm gonna stop you and talk to you. Until recently. And now I know exactly what it feels like. And I feel like now I am an expert on the topic of what happened to Glitter and Lasers and her severely traumatic experience. And this topic has been talked about to death. Everybody and the mother has made a video on this. And I didn't feel like making a video on it because I was like, oh, I've already did it. But now that it's happened to me, I feel like I'm the perfect person to comment on this video. Here's the thing, though. She deleted it a while ago, and so I have ripped this video from somewhere else. And so it's kind of like a video ripped from a video ripped from a video. Just bear with me. But I thought we could take a look at that, and then we could take a look at some other TikTokers who have kind of commented on the same thing. Let me get into the story first about what happened. I was walking outside, as one does, in the good weather. And I moved into a new neighborhood last summer, but I never got the chance to just, like, get out and walk around because I didn't have any AC at my house last summer, and so I was staying with my parents. And then by the time I got the AC, summer was basically over. And then I had to, like, jump into work. And I was working, got sick, never had to go outside, blah, blah. Went to the gym when I could work out, just simply because the weather was bad in Michigan. You know, surprise. But yeah, I was just out there, and this woman was on her little scooter, because I live mostly around senior citizens, and she was walking her dog. So she was on the scooter, and the dog is being walked on the leash as she's driving the scooter. And I passed her a couple times, and I said hi to her dog. And by like the third time I passed her, she said she stopped me. I had my headphones in, so I was like, "What? What's going on? Why are you stopping me? I'm in the middle of working out." And I didn't say that to her, obviously, but I was thinking it. And she's like, "Good for you." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Good for you." And I was like, for what? And she's like, "This is the second time I've seen you out here today." And I thought back, and I was like, well, I did go out on my lunch break and walk around a few times because I was just so anxious from how many meetings I had that day. I needed to, like, get it out of my system. But I needed to hit my 10,000 steps on my Fitbit. So underneath the sleeve there. And so she saw me the second time walking her dog. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And I wanted to get back to walking because I had to, get going. I had somewhere to be, and wanted to finish my 10,000 steps before I had to get in the car and drive. And I think she took it the wrong way. I was just really in a hurry, and I wasn't really thinking much about it. I remember texting Alex, like, "Alex, it happened to me. The glitters and lasers thing happened to me." And he was just like, "Oh my God." But next time I saw her, which was like the next day, she was riding her scooter again, and she had the dog, and I waved at her, and she looked at me, and she was like, and I was like, what the heck? And then she drove her scooter into a wall. I didn't mean it, lady. I wasn't trying to be rude. I really wasn't. I was just like, okay, cool. I just had to go. But I wasn't like, but I guess my trauma was so much that she internalized it, and then she drove her scooter into a wall. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't really know. But then I saw her again, like a week later, and she's like, "Hi again." Clearly, I think I don't know. Sometimes I'm so singularly focused and I'm so unemotional that I think people take things I do the wrong way. But I definitely did not confront her and tell her she was being rude or be like, "Why wouldn't you expect me to be an amazing walker, etc., exercising, whatever?" Because I am trying to lose weight. I talk about losing weight all the time, and just a normal part of my life because it's something I do every day. So it's always on my mind and I just talk about it all the time. But anyways, let's take a look at this video and see what Glitter and Lasers did and compare her story to my story.
So I just stopped my run to have a little cry in this beautiful area, and I'm crying for a silly reason. Somebody stopped me on the trail while I was walking, just doing my cool down. I was doing like intervals today, so like I walk in between. And she's like, "Good job getting out there." And it just felt so dehumanizing. It felt so shitty. And I just was having a bad day anyway. I came out here to run to try to feel better. And I know this person was well-intentioned, but man, it felt really bad.
Okay, so I'm sorry she's having a bad day. I know when I was walking, I wasn't having that good of a day either. But somebody telling me good job definitely didn't make my day worse. It definitely made my day funnier because I was able to talk about it afterwards. But there is something definitely going on here that I think is greater than the compliment. I'm not really sure what it could be.
Oh, I already know I'm going to get a ton of DMs being like, she's well-intentioned. But you know what? I am about to start my period. I'm hormonal AF. I'm going to be really honest here. That woman saw me and assumed that I was entirely out of shape and that it was my first day on the trail. And that's because she has preconceived views of what a plus-size body is and is not able to do. And as a person who's out here every freaking day trying to change that perspective, it's frustrating that it's still so ingrained in our society. Y'all are not going to believe this. So, I'm walking on the trail, and I pass that lady again. And she stops me. I don't even think she realizes she's already seen me. And she goes, waves, and is like, "Good job." And
okay. I mean, I honestly don't think people should use their hormones as an excuse. It's kind of like somebody saying, "I'm sorry I was so rude to you yesterday. I was just so drunk. I had too many drinks." It's like, dude, you're the one who took the drinks. And I know you can't control when you get your period, but like, you do have to know that you have a period, right? You do have to know that how it affects you if it does affect you. But I don't think it's an excuse to have this kind of breakdown over somebody complimenting you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a compliment. You don't really have to listen to it. Yeah, I get that there's people out there who could be like a little condescending, especially if they're approaching you and you don't know them or like you didn't ask. It's like, but it can be a little like, well, that was weird. I once had somebody approach me and be like, "I can tell you're not wearing a lot of makeup. And I just want to tell you that, you know, you're so pretty. I just think the girls are the prettiest who don't wear a lot of makeup." And I was really like weirded out by that comment because I was like, well, first of all, I am wearing a lot of makeup, so I don't know why you would say that to me. But at the same time, I was like, okay, cool, bye. And you know, you just kind of move on. Like, you can't let the way that other people see you dictate how you go throughout the world. You can't have breakdowns over the dumbest things because, you know, there's like, what, 7-8 billion people in the world? Like, you're not going to get along with everyone. And not everybody is of the same generation. Like, some people think that it's a good thing that they're encouraging you. I mean, you could live in Japan, where I used to live, where they'll just come up to the train station and say, "Did you know that you're fat? Like, I just want to make sure, did you know that you're fat? Because you're fat, and I think you should eat less and exercise more." And you're like, thank you, old lady at the train station. Like, that's completely, like, that's how bad it could be. And even then, like, people in Japan are not doing that because they're trying to be rude. They're doing that because it's like a genuine concern thing, and they actually do think they're helping you. And so people are different generations. People are different cultures. And, you know, sometimes someone's gonna say something you could perceive as rude, but you just gotta go with the flow and get over it. And just, you know, if you don't like that, don't do it to other people. You can't control other people. You can only control what you do.
Ethan is like, "Good job." And I'm like, "Do I know you?" And she goes, I don't think so. And I was like, "Well, you're acting like someone who knows me. And if you knew me, you'd know that I'm on this show all the time. So it's really not that exciting." So, no, you're not.
Okay, she is, though, really out of shape. And there are many things that a plus-size body cannot do. And I would know that because I was really out of shape and I had a plus-size body. So, yeah.
Oh, and then I just took that running. I am so petty, but in the most delightful way ever. You can be nice and a bad bitch.
I don't even know what to say to that. It's just it's just so over the top that I can't even relate. I think there's something that happens when you're so unhealthy, you become so mentally unhealthy that you just can't see things correctly. Like everything becomes black and white and everything becomes dire and extreme and the worst thing ever. When you become more healthy, I feel like physically healthy, you're also mentally healthier and you can just handle things better. Like, I know that sounds crazy in itself, but I swear I don't think she would be acting like this if she were actually healthy. So her saying, like, you don't know how healthy I am as in a plus size body. Well, girl, we can see on how unhealthy you are because you're acting unhealthy. But yeah, my friend Graphically Alex did a reaction on this. Like I said, you can check it out in the description box down below. It's a really good video. I think he has a really great take on it because he always comes at it from the perspective of that hormone mental health aspect, which he knows a lot more about than I do. But yeah, let's take a look at some other videos of our favorite TikToker from Fat Acceptance, the jock scientist, the real jock scientist, real scientist. Really into the science. I can't say science enough. And see what she has to say about some of these topics. I thought they were pretty interesting. So yeah, here's the first video.
Comment on your body don't actually care about your health, or they wouldn't say that.
If you've ever had the misfortune of being on the receiving end of I'm just concerned about your health, you know how uncomfortable that made you. Defensive, irritable. It was not a good experience because that is manipulative. Because if I have any reaction that's not appreciative or apologetic for the way that my body looks, I'm unreasonable.
First thing I'll say about this video is it's very aggressive. Now, I remember a time when I was very, very overweight and I would have people say things within my family about me needing to lose weight. And yes, I had a very extreme reaction, but looking back on it now, I know I was extremely hormonally imbalanced, so I had an extreme reaction. I was not being treated for any of my hormonal diseases. I didn't know I had any hormonal diseases until I was firmly in my mid to late 20s. And I do believe that a lot of people, especially women who are overweight, they also have these hormonal imbalances. Men also have hormonal imbalances. They might have excess estrogen, and that's causing them to be a little bit more neurotic. And in our case, for women, we could have PCOS, we could have hypothyroidism. Those things also just kind of take your emotions to 11 out of 10. And I know that's just a stereotype, or like women are so emotional, but hey, I thought men could be emotional too about this too. That's what I said. So it's not a gendered issue, just different hormones, different people. Sometimes, same hormones, same people. Anyways. What I do hold people responsible for as a kid and having that reaction, like say when I was 17, like, Mommy, to stop being mean to me, blah, 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 is like, I was a kid. I could not take control of my health at that point. And so it was the responsibility of my doctor, of my parents, to figure out why I was having all these issues. They never did. Oh, well, I took control of it in my 20s and now in my 30s, so... So you just gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes life sucks and you just gotta be the one who makes it better. And yeah.
I'm overreacting, but I just love you so much that I care. You love me so much that you're like, I'm worried you're gonna... Surely this will have no effect on my mental health at all.
Okay, but, and bear with me here. If you are at a certain weight and you are eating certain foods and you do gather a certain amount of diseases from being overweight, such as diabetes and a host of other things, I don't know, high blood pressure and such, which will eventually happen to you if you stay at a certain weight, you will be unalived. That is what's going to happen. And you can see that with evidence of all the different people in the fat acceptance community who have become unalived. Don't want to say the DIE word just because, YouTube is watching. And they will demonetize this video. So I'm doing my best to avoid those words. I might even edit out that word here. But yeah, trying to act like that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. That's just denial. That's just denial. One of the reasons I talk about I'm losing weight is to make sure that doesn't happen to me. I want to live a nice long life. I'm at 111 and we get struck by lightning. That's the plan.
And I'm sure that a lot of people that say it's not coming from a place of malice, but it is coming from a place of stigma and shame. And science has shown you literally cannot shame someone into lifelong behavioral change.
Okay, but let's think about it here. Is every incident of somebody saying you should lose weight shame-based? If someone's saying, hey, I'm really concerned for you, I really love you, and I'm just concerned for your weight, that's not shaming someone. That's showing genuine concern, saying you need to lose weight because you're fat and ugly. That's shaming, right? There's a difference between fat shaming and fat realism, having a genuine conversation versus putting someone down. And I'm sorry, but somebody saying, hey, I'm concerned for you, it's not shaming. For example, a long time ago, like 10 years ago, I had this friend. I was in my mid-20s, he was in his early 20s, and we were the only people in this town in Japan who were American, and he used to smoke. And I was kind of hard on him, but concerned, because he had this, like, you know, he would smoke, and then he would get cough. And I would say to him, you know, I think it'd be a good idea if you stop smoking. Like, you know, smoking is really bad for you, and, you know, you could get cancer, and you could unalive. And he would just like roll his eyes at me, and he would say things like, well, the way that I smoke is different. I just don't inhale the same way, so I just don't think I'm ever going to get cancer, blah, blah, blah. And by the end of that year we spent together, he developed this long-term cough. He even stopped smoking, and the cough persisted. And, but I remember that last few times he was smoking, I said to him, you know, you have this cough, you should stop smoking. I'm afraid that you're going to get cancer. And once again, he got really mad at me. He even talked bad about me behind my back to one of my other friends, who then told me. And so there was that. And it's really hard to say this, but the next year, I heard from him a few months later, and he actually did get cancer. And he fought cancer for 2 years. He's fine now, but that was a crazy thing that happened, where I showed concern, and the concern turned out to be real. And so it's not like an imaginary thing. If you do this unhealthy habit, unhealthy things will happen to you. In the same way, if you remain unhealthy and overweight, unhealthy things are going to follow you. So was I shaming him? I wasn't saying things like, you're gross because you're smoking. I was saying, smoking's bad for you. You should think about trying to quit. That's just real. That's a genuine thing to say. It's a fact. And it's not shaming. It's not putting someone down. So, yeah.
You might see temporary changes, but the reality is self-hatred and health cannot coexist in your body. Think what you want, but you can keep it to yourself.
Okay. Do you have to hate yourself to quit smoking? Do you have to hate yourself to lose weight? I would actually make the argument that losing weight is loving yourself. I know FA doesn't want to hear that, but I love myself so much that I want to be healthy. Okay? I would hope that my friend would love himself so much that he would quit smoking before he got cancer. And, you know, who knows? Maybe he would have gotten the cancer anyways, but we know that smoking gives you cancer, and he got cancer at the age of 23. So I think her reaction to this is just, she's conflating concern with shame, and that's honestly really disingenuous. Okay, we got one more video, and let's check it out. Jock Scientists, here we go.
Is there something you have learned about your dad in the course of this campaign that you didn't?
Hello?
Now that one is actually far closer to the glitter laser incident, where you're just like working out and then you take a rest at the gym and they're like, good job, keep on going. And it can be a little awkward because, like, who are you and why are you talking to me? Especially if you're the kind of person where, like, I don't want to interact with anyone. It has nothing, in my case, to do with the compliment or the encouragement. It's everything to do with just leave me alone. I'm antisocial today. And that's basically it. But in this case, it's like, girl, just whatever. Like, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. You just gotta learn how to live with it. And it's just as she said in that previous video, people aren't coming up to you and doing these things with malice, clearly. And I do think intentions matter. And as I said, at the end of the day, you can't control what people do. You can only control what you do and how you react, which seems like a very basic, like, mindfulness thing. Like, you know, like, whoa, surprise, people are gonna, you know, act however they want to act, right? But it just seems like we want to control what everyone else is doing. That's what I feel like the FA community does, is that they're just so into control. They can't control themselves, So they want to control everyone around them. I feel like that's the moral of our story here, right? It's always about control. And I hope that none of you guys give me dreaded compliments on your weight loss journeys. Don't even consider complimenting me. I just might get triggered again. I'm clearly still dealing with the post-traumatic stress of that compliment. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.